steal the land. 'Cause I know you always can.
Dang, it's that Monday night delight here up in the treehouse in Los Angeles. It's What's Up Flobo After Hours, the award-winning late night talk show. Flobo Boys having time of my life, man. Thank you so much for watching this on that Facebook, that YouTube, that Twitter, and that Twitch. If you're on that Twitch, drop me a follow, man. I need all my follows on this show. Final weeks for What's Up Flobo After Hours. That's right. On 11/22, November 22nd, we say goodbye. So you guys are all invited. We're having a big party. Special guests are coming through. It's going to be a good time. But it's not about that. It's about episode 69. Before I give my special guest his intro, I just want to say, I want to give a shout out to the Boisterous crew. If you don't know what that is, you know what it is. It's people on the Patreon, patreon.com/FloboBoys. Those who support content, support Black creators like yours truly to make this show a possibility and a reality. So I have to give a shout out to Christopher C, Christy H, ACH, Edric P, Oliver E, Princess Leia, Matthew C, John W, and Richard R. You guys are 5-star. Now, my guest this evening is out there doing the thing, but there's always a swirl of controversy wherever he goes. I mean that with all the love. I was on his show. It was called Royce's Rants a couple weeks ago. Make sure you check out the Facebook page. You can see my lovely face talking about issues of the day. But I said, let's do it again. Let's run it back. Let's please welcome Mr. Royce Massengill. What's going on?
Yo. What's up, everybody? Can you hear me? You're blind clear being here.
Yo, I can hear you, man. Yo, shout out to Haywood Vaughn, Kristen in the chat. How you good? You good? You're good?
Shout out. Yeah, man, I'm doing good, man. Hold on, man. Shout out to JLJ Media, man. I saw him on the Instagram, man. He had followed me up, man, and sent me a little message or whatnot. He was gonna be tuning in, man. So I got to shout out to him. I'm glad he's up on here doing his thing. It's doing good, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the West Coast over there. You know what I mean?
It's still dark as hell, man. That daylight saving time is no joke. That's
man, you know what I'm saying? Flobo got me up late down here down south, man. It's 12 a.m., but I waited for that. I even took a nap, bro.
Okay, dang. So where you calling from today?
What's that?
Where you based at?
I'm based out in Middle Tennessee, pretty much, man. It's a small town.
Okay.
Y'all ready for this? It's called Tullahoma, Tennessee. Now, I don't know if y'all heard that before. You know, I can't even say it by way of Nashville because there's another city in between Nashville, you feel me, called Murfreesboro, Tennessee. But if you know Nashville, Tennessee, we're about 75 miles south, you know, country town. Next door to, I don't know, this might sour the mood, but right next door to the county of the home of the KKK, you know.
Okay, yeah. Yo, they get around, man. I went to school next door.
They get around.
Yeah. They got a good branding team.
Yeah, man. They got hoverboard. They got a hoverboard crew and all that stuff, man. They don't play around here, dog. They do not play.
Man.
Yeah, man. It's good to be up on here, though. What's good?
I've only been to Memphis, so I know very, very little about Tennessee. But I'm glad that you're part of it. You're all Americans, you know what I'm saying? So
all I gotta say is, man, just stay exactly where you at, man. That's about as far as you need to go. That's about as far as you need to go, man. I'm sorry.
Yo, let's talk about the show, man. Royce's Rants. We said you're on the path to finishing season 4, and it is a controversial show, I would say. So, what was the thought going into that? Like, why you decide to do this kind of show from where you are and making this a platform?
Look, man, I really didn't plan for it to be the direction that we're going in now. To be honest with you, man, like my first season, which started in 2019. During the Juneteenth era, you know, it seems like there's something about everybody's first show. I don't know, like your very, very first show. Did you post it like your first one? Did you ever have like a trial run on one of your shows or anything?
I had posted, but I didn't tell anyone where it was. I felt like posting it was like the finish line, but I didn't tell anybody where it was.
Okay, that's the kind of thing I did. It was like, oh, this one was terrible. Like, I don't know if they want to, you know, do they really want to know this about me? Like, me? But that first season, I really kind of exposed myself, you know, my college days and stuff, my hustling days, and coming from the suburbs, you know what I'm saying? I told on myself. That's all I could say. The good, the bad, and the ugly. You feel me? And then it took a switch during the George Floyd situation, spring of 2020, and I was in Murfreesboro, Tennessee at the time. That was Middle Tennessee, and I was still doing Royce's Rant or whatnot, but there was actually a rally going on in the square or whatnot. And look, to be real, I didn't know what was going on. You feel me? All I knew what was going on up there in Minnesota with George Floyd, but I didn't know that town and got together the rally. So on my way to the store, I was like, oh, let me see what's going on. So I go to the square, and of course, me, man, I always got to take my camera out and see what's going on.
Yeah, okay.
And people, they're marching, we're going around in a circle, and then I catch up with this one college student who had a bullhorn in his hand. And he had turned around, he looked at me, he said, man, I'm tired of going around in circles, man. He said, if I went outside of the square or whatever, he said, would you follow him? I'm like, yeah. So he gave me the bullhorn. And as everybody's going around the circle in the square, we walk outside of the square. And about a minute later, I turn around and we got like 200 people behind us, and we don't know where we going in the town. No idea at all. We just, some young adults out here just try to raise some cane. Let's just be real,
Yeah.
So I was like, man, well, let's go to the police station. So we go to the police station. The police station is waiting on us up there, and all the college students are getting around. And so I just took that opportunity to be like, man, okay. I mean, since they following us up here, we don't have no direction of where we're going. Let me at least say something that maybe I always wanted to say. I had my kind of movie moment, like this Lion King thing. I was like, yeah, I said, this is my chance right here.
Yeah,
I mean, to be honest with you, man, like I didn't have it written down or anything like that. I was asking the kids pretty much like, what do y'all want? You feel what I'm saying? Like we can go out here and we can run these streets and we can and we can loot and we can raise cane and stuff, but like, what is it that you really want? What are you trying to do? Are we going to repeat the same thing over and over? Like, what are your demands? Like, are you out there voting? You feel me? Do you know who your governor is, your senator is, your state legislators? Like, if you really going to get down with it, let's get down with it. Let's not just march and get tear gas thrown at us, which that's what happened. You feel what I'm saying?
I mean, you might have shit in both, man, bro. Like,
yeah, you feel what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, at that moment, like a lot of the attention was going on down in Middle Tennessee. So I ended up being on the news a couple of times explaining what we were trying to do. And I'll keep it real with you.
Okay.
Being back where I am now, I didn't plan to be here until about 5 years later, because I did have a plan to like do some work in the community, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it was just the fact that when this stuff happened last year with George Floyd, there were some things that were blossoming down here where I was from, and the people there were asking me to come and, you know what I'm saying, and speak. And so I'm like, well, dang, okay, I guess I got a purpose for this show now. You feel me? To give the people a voice, to give them a platform to speak about social issues, political issues, anything that they want to speak about. But let's try to find a solution. You feel what I'm saying? So it kind of took a shift. You feel me? But I took advantage of telling who I was on my first season. So therefore, if anybody want to reach back and say something negative about your boy, you know what I'm saying, or say that I
haters out there?
There's always a hater out there, man. There's always somebody who's gonna reach back and try to find something about you. I'm like, man, you know what? No, I just let it out. You feel me? The good, bad, and ugly of me. And each season showed like the growth of who I am.
Absolutely.
You feel what I'm saying? So that's what Royce Rants is all about, man. I have subjects that I talk about, but it's a rant. You feel me?
Yeah. JLJ had a question about that. He says, do you ever censor yourself when you rant at all?
Hey, that's a good question. When I first started out, man, I was saying everything up under the sun, but real talk, you know what I mean? And then when I started having, like these, state representatives on my show and councilmen and stuff, trying to run for certain elections and stuff on my show, I was like, my stepdad called me and he was like, Royce, he said, man, it's a good show, man. But you gotta realize who's watching now. You got these kids that are watching, you're trying to do things in the community. You might want to try to, calm it down a little bit, or, have a safe place somewhere where you can do something like that. And I'm like, shoot, honestly, what better way to do it when I'm on somebody else's show? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, late night talk, you feel me? Or primetime TV, watch that, kids go to bed. And then here comes BET Uncut. You feel me? So
that's a different kind of vibe, Roy.
Yeah.
I cover the discussion.
I don't know if they know about that BET Uncut, man.
I come here for the talk. That's what I come here for.
You already know.
Yeah, I got you, man. I respect that, because when your platform grows and you have like almost like a responsibility or anything. But is this all that you do? Or do you have a day job, a side hustle, eight different jobs? I mean, what's the vibe? Like, what's the slice?
Man, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm working on like full entrepreneurship right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, a little PT and then doing this. You feel me? So yeah, at first it was a full-time thing as far as your 9 to 5, and as you get closer to your dream in entrepreneurship, you're trying to make your dream more of the breadwinner. So,
Sure.
it was just me constantly working to see which one is going to weigh out. So I'm like, I'm right here in the middle where I'm like, I'm almost there to full entrepreneurship, but I still got to pay my bills. You know what I'm
Oh yeah,
saying?
You're right.
Gotta pay the bills,
At least you don't
So
give a hell about your entrepreneurship goals if the money don't come through. Yeah, I
it
got you.
don't, so, but man, we've been doing this like, Royce's Rant is just a uh increment of what we're doing as a team, man. We're into short films, music videos here in Nashville, Tennessee. We shot everything from rock and roll to trap rap. You feel what I'm saying? R&B to country. Won a couple of accolades for 4 short films. We're actually, managing a couple of artists right now, doing their promotions, doing their marketing, doing their music videos and stuff. So it's so much, man. Like it's we work with Soldier Boy, CEO Miami Mike.
Ooh.
I can tell you stories about shooting videos in the trenches, man. To get where we are now. But, bruh, I don't even know I don't even
Yeah.
know, bro. I don't know where to go. But where else? We got the hit list. So outside of Royce's Rant, we have this show where we look for certain up and coming artists in the Nashville area, and we invite them to the studio to perform live. But it's kind of like a late night thing where you talk to the artist first and then they go perform.
Yeah, I
So,
got you.
so we have them come to the studio. I sit with them and I talk with them about their album or some of their music and how they got to be where they're at. And then they go, what I'm saying, into studio/living room where we got set up, and they perform live some of their top songs and stuff like that. And so I'm just trying to create a network as far as Royce's Rant. It's called the Royce's Rant Network, and I want to make it a platform to where we can talk about what I was saying earlier, social political issues. We can talk about music. We can talk about movies, because my producer, Josh, he's a director also. He majored in film down at MTSU, Middle Tennessee State University. Great director, great filmmaker. I'm a cinematographer myself, man. I think I might have showed you some videos that we've done or whatever, but I'll send that on to you, man, whenever I get done with this. But man, we just do so much, and Royce's Rant is just a small part of this entity that we have, bro.
Yeah, well, that's how you build a brand, step by step,
Yeah, man.
brick by brick. But you mentioned that your show, the classic, the Royce's Rants, talks over social political issues. What exactly does that entail? What are some social and political?
Okay.
We talked about something before we went live too, but the whole movie critique. But we won't get into that quite yet. But what are some social political issues your show tackles?
Well, definitely just right off the top, because I was just speaking on it briefly today. But anything from sexual abuse, to baby mama drama, to daddy issues, to mama issues, to toxic masculinity, from faith over fear, to how to dismantle a black family, to
how to like a structure manual,
not purposely.
Okay, like what?
Not personally, but those were some of the titles. You feel what I'm saying? But I mean, to briefly explain that, so I won't get caught up on it. It was basically part of a session that we had where we were talking about how the government dismantled the black family. So like they did it in several different ways, especially like in the late 60s and 70s when our divorce rate became very, very high, and our income was very, very low, and husbands couldn't be in the household and stuff like that. So we were just speaking about the top 5 things that dismantled the black family up until this point right now. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, we've had all types of guests on the shows, man. We've had set it up where we had debates and stuff with different legislators here in Tennessee, so, and I'm gonna keep it real. I'm not really
keep it real.
I'm not a political guy, just to be honest with you.
Okay.
I try to fit the social in it, because sometimes, man, to me, like when you get too political, man, all these words that I don't know and never heard of, man, I'm gonna keep it real. Some of that I don't know.
Like
I don't know what all. I can't even remember the words.
Okay.
I'm gonna say it like this: it's when I've spoken to these councilmen and leaders here in the area where we're at, and we're speaking about politics. If I ask like a specific question, it's pretty common.
Right.
It always has to be answered in a way that you're going in circles. You're not really. I just asked a simple question, and then you're taking it here and you're giving me laws and pages and sectors here, and HB 202.1 says this, and I'm like, wow, when did politics get so like difficult? Maybe it's just me, I don't know. But when
It's
they
always been
talk
that
about
way,
it,
brother. What
yeah, I
was
know.
politics ever simple?
But
The word "it's political" comes from that. Like it's
Yeah.
always been difficult.
It's not fair though.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
It's not fair, man.
Yeah, I know. You're right. You're right.
You know, so I mean, but yeah, man, I kind of leave the door open when it comes to the topics, man. So like, you know, social. I mean, mental health also. Like, I'm really strong on Black men and mental health.
Sure.
A lot of us have been keeping things in the closet about things that may have happened to us. You know what I'm saying, whether mentally or physically, and we don't talk much about it because we've been brought up to say that, you know, we can hold in our feelings, we don't cry, we can't express our feelings. That's what women do. You know what I mean? You can't tell your brother that you love him, or that, hey, brother, you look sharp today, or man, great job, just checking to see how you doing, homie. You know, they make us feel weird doing that sometimes. You know, and the Black men need more, you know, help mentally than ever. We've been psychologically affected. We've been told that we have to be this way and be that way, but you know, man, it's time to get, you know, brothers to start loving one another again, man. You know what I'm saying? So I tackle on the issues with that. You know, you kind of, you name it, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I respect that too. I remember when I was on Royce's Rants a couple weeks ago, you had a laundry list. You're like, yo, Drake versus Kanye, go. You know what I mean? Like, or like your thoughts on the vaccine, go. I mean, your boy Andy Rogers, man, what's up? Like, homeboy's out there being like, yo, I said I was immunized. Like, you know, it's just kind of the weird thing. Everything's coming together. Social issues meet political issues, meet sports issues, meet like mental issues. It all comes together, right?
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. But you know, oh, go ahead, my bad.
No, what's up?
Yeah, but you know, this network, man, you know, at the end of the day, I try to do less talking, especially when I have a guest or whatnot. Like for me, because I know, man, I can go on and on and on. You know what I'm saying? And I have things where I'll ask my listeners stuff like, "What do you guys want?" You know, and they're like, "Oh, you know, we'd like to see more guests." Well, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way for a minute. I'm like, "What? Y'all don't like hearing me talk? Is that what it is?" Okay, fine. We're gonna get some more guests. That's cool. But you know, I kind of get it, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I said it's called Royce's Rant, man. What, you know, but this was toward the beginning. So what I realized is that I try to make, like with the title, I say, speak your thoughts or lose your mind. That's my motto. Because if you, as people, sometimes there are some of us who hold in a lot of our thoughts, you know, and the longer that we hold those in, the more stressed out we become. It becomes very unhealthy. But then the moment that you let that out after holding it in for so long, sometimes it can get violent. It can get hurtful. You might say some things you didn't mean to say. Your tone might be a little different. But sometimes you have to express yourself if you feel it at that moment to do so, because it will kill you in the end. That's why I say you will lose your mind if you don't speak it. You feel me? So
have you ever been in a situation where you spoke your mind on your show and that became seen as like not appropriate or like untactful? Like,
bruh, look, I done had so many people, you know, get at me for kind of, my girl actually told me sometimes, okay, all right, you got to calm down now. You know what I'm saying? Maybe let's talk about something else, because you've been on them hard today. You know what I mean? Everything from the thing with Bill Cosby, you know, to R. Kelly, to even with Dave Chappelle. Like they were getting on me hard because just you know, an opinion that I may have. You know, I feel how I feel, and that's just how it is. But you know, that don't mean you gotta, you know, some people just get mean.
So let me ask. Before I say that, shout out to JLJ Media, who says, "So glad to see two young Black men talk a topic like this." Oh, I'm young. I respect that. 30 years ago, I was out protesting for things like this to happen. Yo, thank you for your service. I understand, man. It's a different time back then. So about those, and I want to put you, if you don't want to feel comfortable to share, what was uncomfortable? What was controversial about those topics you had mentioned? The R. Kelly thing, the Bill Cosby thing, and the Dave Chappelle thing.
Okay, so I mean, really, with the more. The one that got the most attention was really more the Bill Cosby thing, and that really got a lot from the, how can I say, like the Me Too people, I suppose.
Okay.
Some people that have been molested and abused, or you know, even raped or whatnot, and you know, those are one of the things that, you know, I can understand. Like what I say doesn't mean that I don't understand what you've been through. But there are some people who may be triggered by hearing something like that before they get the full details. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people really get upset sometimes because it might be a personal thing. It might have happened to them. And in my case, that was the situation, the people that were coming to me. And, my statement and my opinion is like, I don't think Bill Cosby, like, I just didn't believe the story. It was just I couldn't, like, no, this is Bill Cosby here. And I'm asking, like, well, why now? And I said, well, no, he didn't really say that. Like, sometimes I get caught up in some of these narratives and themes and stuff that the media has, and then I forget to just look directly at the deposition, and I can just get it, like,
Sure.
the AP media line that falls down, so it's just people were calling me these type of names and saying, like, oh, you are now contributing to the to the rape culture, and you don't know what it's like to be raped or anything like that. And then I kind of shocked them when I said, well, I've been molested for 5 years, you know what I'm saying, from the same sex. So don't make me think that I don't know, how it feels or whatnot. You feel what I'm saying? This is just my opinion. They don't take away from what happened to you, So, yeah, sometimes, man, my listeners can get emotional, and that's understandable. I get it. But it's just when your emotions start bringing upon insults, yeah, that's when it throw me off. You know what I mean? Yeah, for real. And it made me think, like, well, which direction am I going in? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, right? But sometimes, I've had put a few people in their place, man. Some people just get disrespectful off of an opinion.
Yeah.
Really, real time. And you asked me the question.
So when that happens, man, when you have that moment, like, did I go too far? Did I say too much?
Yeah.
Well, how do you recalibrate? You go, nah, I take a break. You think about it. He goes, no, I'm going to do it anyway. Like, this is how I feel. Or is it kind of like, okay, maybe I said my piece. Let me move on. Like, what's the game plan when something like that happens and you get blowback?
Man, I used to go cry in the car. I used to go cry. No, I'm just lying. I don't.
Oh, for real? I was like, dude.
But metaphorically,
my car's outside. That's too far away. It's way too far.
Hey, I'll be in my feelings, man. I'll be like, I'll think about it, like, man, dang, did I just hurt their feelings, or that's just how I felt. And then I'll get beside myself and I'll be like, oh, wait a minute. I said, they say that to me. They say this mean shit to me. Like, what the hell? Like, oh, no. I feel how I feel. That's just what it is, at the end of the day. Because I feel like if somebody can come on my platform or vice versa and say what they want to say, how they feel, like, I completely respect that, But if I do the same, I would expect the same respect too. There's no need for it to go get hostile over an opinion. And over a question that you ask. If it's not an answer you don't want to hear, that's just what it is. You feel what I'm saying? So, bro, it's I try very hard, and I'm learning to listen to what people say, especially if I ask a question. Sure. And then I think I'm learning more how to continue to ask questions. Does that make sense? Because I really be wanting to, like, say something, and I'm like, okay, well, all right, I may not agree with it, and so I'll just ask another question, because then at this point, I just want to see how you feel. And we can get caught up in debating with people, going back and forth, and you lose the point on what you're talking about in the first place or where you're going. I always try to go somewhere in the conversation, like, how can we find a solution? And to me, it starts with just listening and asking questions. I got to learn how to shut up. You feel what I'm saying? I really got to learn how to do that when I speak to people.
Oh, are you lecturing people in your interviews? Look, man.
For real. I have to calm that down sometimes, the opinions are opinions, and that's just what it is. But there's always something inside of us. We always want to convince somebody to see it our way.
Okay, so real talk. I gotta. So was there a time on the times I was on your show when I was saying something and you were like, "This bro here is off his rocker," but I invited him. I'm
that vaccine, brother. I don't. Vaccine.
So before let me set it up. Okay. So he asked me whether or not I was vaxxed. I said yes, I will. Yes, I am, and I gave reasons why I did. And I believe you weren't. So that's why we were saying. But continue. What about that? I'm not saying to defend not getting the vaccine, but I'm saying, what about that made you go, I want to say, no, I'm not. I'm going to let him finish and then move on. What made you decide to not engage?
I guess really what it was. I guess I'm meant to ask more questions on it. You know what I'm saying? Because
Okay, yeah.
I mean, I'll keep it real. A part of my there's a little bit of conspiracy theorist in me. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay.
But then there's also just a little discernment. You feel me? Like, for instance, I don't know. This is not I'm not knocking down anybody who got the shot. Like I'm pro-choice. I'm not here to judge you on whatever, you know what I'm saying? I know who the final judge is. I'm not trying to make you do anything you want to do. Like, hey, whatever makes people feel safe, that's dope. And at the end of the day, that's how I feel. But I'm also an advocate of trying to stay away from pharmaceutical products, things that I'm not too sure about, things that I feel like they need more research, that normally would take longer research in order to figure out if it really works or not. But I can't knock what makes people feel safe. So I'm trying something different this time, like I'm trying a different eating habit. I'm taking away certain meats and porks and stuff like that. And I'm seeing a difference in it. You know what I'm saying?
My man.
I know.
That's how it is classic pork.
There's different type of porks.
It's
You know what I'm
European pork.
saying?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, you got me on that one. But yeah, so I'm trying to change, change my diet in order to change my immune system, because that's the strongest thing that we have in our body, man. And I just feel like that if we use what God put on this earth, man, honestly, I mean, people need to check out Dr. Sabi and other doctors that are like him, that whole foods, organic foods, man. This stuff is really working. So, and I'm just saying, I'm just taking a different route from it. I guess I was expecting to hear something like, what made you feel safe about it? I guess that's the question I didn't ask.
Oh, you're asking me that now? Yeah, you had the chance like a month ago, player.
I did.
What are you doing? What are you doing? And you know what? Again, if you're listening here, you're not vaccinated, and in the other version, I'm not here to judge you either. I think the answer I gave in your show is I'm an entrepreneur. I work alone. And so anything I could do to help me out, because if I ever intubated, if I ever get the virus, you're not going to come out from Tennessee. My parents would come out from there to come see me at all. When I look at data and I look at findings, everything has gone towards it. People who decide not to get the vaccine usually have a personal reason. It's usually like, well, hey, look, I get blood clots, or hey, look, I have this kind of immune compromisation, and that's different. But I have not heard of an overall reason why I should not, unless you're looking at an outlet like a Newsmax or OAN News, right? So if you look at the thing and you go, hey, look, for me personally as an individual, you can, but I'm saying not, then I can't convince you otherwise.
Right.
But when someone tells me, man, have you seen the research about why it's bad? I'm like, if you put anything in Google, Google will give you results you're putting into. So you're going to get things that are confirmation bias. If I said pineapple on pizza is the best topping, best believe Google will tell me all these articles that say it's the best people on topping. So I don't knock nobody, man. Like, everyone does their own thing, man. I got the booster appointment on Wednesday. I'm gonna go. If you don't do it, that's cool. Like, I'm not knock you. Bill, don't be like Mr. Rogers over there being like, oh, I'm immunized and not. If you're not, say you're not. You know what I'm saying? Don't be like you are and not. So that's what I think. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's what it is, man. Already. But that was really, kind of like the only thing. But so. And as much as I love debating, you know what I'm saying? I mean, my girl even says, like, I'm obsessed with you. She said, you just like to argue, don't you? I'm like, oh, I mean, really, I just like to hear other people's opinion, man. But okay, yeah, if it doesn't go along with what I think, I'm gonna try to pick the brain a little bit, Yeah. So that's what I'm working on when it comes to my show. Because, man, there are people who are like, bro, I deal with racists down here, man. Like, I'm up there at the Board of Education in front of people with rebel flags. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to keep their rebel flag as a mascot for the high school. Like, it's really that serious down here.
Yeah, it's history. I was like, bro, you on the side that broke away from the United States. You are terrorists, but that's besides the point.
Exactly.
The reason why I brought up the whether or not dealing with opinions, because again, we talked about this before you went live. You had a clip from a lady. I forget her name. I didn't write it down. Yeah, and she had this rant on Royce's rant about blaxploitation films, and you had asked her if she's seen any black exploitation films, and she
Mhm.
said no. She
Yeah.
said no
Yeah.
because it portrays black people negatively.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if you never saw them, how do you know
Yeah.
that Dolomite's not a hero to people? Or Coffee Brown was not a hero to someone. Foxy Brown, excuse me, or Coffee, or even Cooley High were heroes to people.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you that was. I'm gonna keep it real. That was probably a case of, you know how some people can be too hotep, like
Okay.
too, you know, like too black power. Does that make any
Okay.
sense to me? Like, no, I mean, I'm pro-black all day, but then, like, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? I seen everything from Boys in the Hood to American Gangster to like all the good and the bad and the ugly black movies, all the way down to Soul Plane. You know what I'm saying?
All the way down to Soul Plane.
All the way down to Soul
Pop
Plane.
is done messed up onto a potato.
Yeah,
Okay, sorry.
that's like that's our man. That's our culture. At the end of the day, you feel what I'm saying? It didn't influence me to be either one of anything. It was entertainment. I laughed, I cried, I learned lessons. You know what I'm saying? That's just life. You know what I mean? Let's talk about something a little deeper than black exploitation, because some of these black exploitations sometimes make you want to slap a motherfucker, like for a good reason. Like, man, you know what, man? That we talking about, you know, on the Mac, man, he slapped the hell out that bitch. You know what? I think that's a good idea. I don't know.
That's not what I said.
You know,
that's a great idea. Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah. You know, but yeah, man, yeah, some people could take it too far with that stuff, man, and they're not concentrating on the real issues at hand. You feel me? But yeah, I know what you're saying. It get like that, man.
I hear you. JLJ Media says the black exploitation films are also another complex issue, and I love Soul Plane. And there's those two statements put back to back.
Yeah, that's interesting.
The reason why I say that, because I think black exploitation films are a perfect example of something that can be seen as inappropriate or racist or bad, but inside of it, it's kind of good. Like, I don't want to compare it to Speedy Gonzalez, but like there's some people who are from Latin descent, Mexican descent, that take that as a character of pride, because it was one of the few Mexican characters portrayed on television who always outsmarted everyone else, but it was a white person doing a Mexican quote unquote accent. So you look at black exploitation films, you're like, yo, that really moved the needle. We had heroes. It was Dolomite was self-made, like it more or less self-made. Like, these are things that when I was in Hollywood Shuffle, was not a black exploitation film, but that idea of financing something on credit cards to make it happen made me want to do films to have someone be like, oh, I don't do it because it makes black people look bad. It's like, word? Yeah, Shaft. Yeah. Actually, real talk. You guys don't know this? Flobo fact. The 2000 version of Shaft, the John Singleton Shaft, got me into film school. I wrote an entire dissertation about the use of color, like the actual color grading of that film. And that got me into movie. Yeah, man. Like, I don't know. I got kind of heated. All the things you talk about your show, that got me the madness. I'm like, what? Black exploitation?
Right. Yeah, no, it's crazy, man. It's crazy, man. That's how it be, man. Sometimes you can be too much of that, man. Let's just focus on something that's real. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yes, sir.
What happens when you find yourself going too far? Have you ever hotepped, Royce?
Oh yeah.
Hey.
Oh yes. Oh, I hotep my way in.
Hotep my way.
Yeah, I mean, and I can't, bruh. Like, jeez, I was lost. I was lost. I was a little lost. Now, this is what I mean by that. That doesn't mean that I ran away from who I was. It was just I found out who I am. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, and you mean what you say, and you say what you mean, and you do what you say you're gonna do. You're gonna speak your thoughts. You're gonna lose your mind. You're gonna do what's right. You're gonna be positive. At the end of the day, there's no need for me to give you all of this hoopla about, oh, what the black man needs to do is that he needs to walk straight and pull up his pants and tie his shoelaces. My brother, I got a story to tell you. You know,
Cosby
what you doing with that hamburger right there, young brother? You know that lettuce is bad for you. Like, nah, okay, look, man. You know, I'm gonna get down to what's like real facts on what I can prove. This is what's happening. You know what I'm saying? This is what's happening right here in our communities here. There's nothing hotep about that. That's just reality. Whether you black, white, orange, yellow, purple, whatever. You know, I'm definitely, you know what I'm saying, about the black culture. You know what I'm saying? It's in me. You know, I'm HBCU. Shout out to Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Golden Lions. You know what I'm saying? The swag.
Okay, respect.
You feel me? So it's just I don't feel like you need. I think when people get too hotepish and stuff, like, to me, those are the ones that I could watch. I have to seriously watch those right there, because them are the type of people that it becomes a financial type of thing. You feel what I'm saying? It becomes more about selling what they have than saving people, you know what I'm saying, from some type of oppression they may be in, or some type of mental problem that they may be in, or are you helping these mothers and fathers, get their children out of these special ed classes they don't need to be in because the IEP says that they're not able to concentrate in regular classrooms and stuff. There's nothing hotep about that. That's just wrong. There needs to be more research, and we need to be focused more on what's right. That's it.
Yeah.
People just go too far sometimes.
Yeah, I got you.
You know what I mean? So it's simple, man. It's
I,
simple.
I can't think. I'm not saying I haven't. I can't really
Yeah.
think of. I guess my thing is I'm a public school graduate. And
Yeah.
I felt like public school was made to get everyone, regardless of walk and creed, together, and it was separate for so long, and it was desegregated, and then everyone found a way to opt out, and now you can go to charter school. They call it school choice, but really, if you have money, you can just basically get a voucher or opt out. And there's two tracks. There's like a inner city track and an outer city track, and that's basically what it was before. And our last Secretary of Education kind of made sure that was kind of the way it is. But but most things, I'm kind of like, you know what? You can't fight City Hall, man. It's Chinatown, bro. That's just the way it is sometimes.
For real. That's the way it is, man. You know what I'm saying? And the fight that I'm doing down here is, I'm gonna tell you this. Going back to that situation when there's a particular school down the road from me that was trying to keep their flag. I was amazed at how uneducated they were about just history of Black people. Like the things that they just what they thought. Like it was. I'm like, and the ironic part is that we're at the Board of Education, and these are your children. These are some grown ass men talking about some invalid history facts about Black people. I'm like, what did y'all learn here? You know what I'm saying? Now, I see why y'all want to keep this rebel flag here at this high school. You know what I mean? It's just different down here, man. It's different. And like I said, when I came here 5 years earlier than I should have, but I think I'm here at the right time. I don't know. Maybe it's something God was like, it's time right now. It's time for you to do what you got to do here. I'm like, all right, I'm still trying to figure it out. You feel me? But sometimes you're trying to figure out where you're going, even though you know where you're going.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, I got you.
Just figure out, okay, well, what road I'm going to take to get to the destination. That's where I'm at right now here. And so, like I said, as I'm trying to get this platform, figuring out, how I'm going to fully utilize this to make some changes. We just got a part fixed down there on the south end of Tullahoma that's been it's been missing some attention for about 45-50 years, you know what I'm saying? And so that was my start here, speaking up about getting our city to recreate this basketball court, to make it a clean environment for the kids, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay, well, maybe that's why I'm here, to spark some type of interest in something. But yeah, man, just balancing these smiles and cries on this show, bro.
I hear you,
man.
So you had mentioned a couple minutes ago that you're a conspiracy theorist and that the mainstream media sometimes doesn't give out the whole picture.
Yeah, 9/11 was an inside job.
All right. The question I have for you then is where do you get your news? What news outlets and what information do you consider valid when you with your decisions? How you come up with your theories?
AP, man, Associated Press, real talk. I actually did I'm funny you asked that question, because I actually did some research on graphing what people listen to as far as media and news, and it almost kind of got divided into like a blue and red, from your CNNs to your Fox, CBS to ABC. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can kind of fill out and be like, oh, okay, I see. All right. But in order to help me not be controlled by a narrative, I try to get something straight off the feed. And when we were in college, I'm a mass comm major myself, radio and television production, and we would always get our news and stuff from the Associated Press. It was just like a straight feed of what happened, right? And then at that point, you take that and, well, you can either create your own narrative to clickbait and get people to click and see what you're doing, or you can just tell it exactly what it is and leave it for the people. Because at the end of the day, there's always going to be a narrative that's going to change, you know, like that telephone game when you were in kindergarten and you got 20 people in there and one person says something, and by the time it gets to the next person, it's changed. You know what I'm saying? So everybody picks at that tree, you know, of information, and they change it into their own narrative. So I try to stay right down in the middle, but like, okay, boom, they see this is what happened. All right, now I have to formulate my own opinion about it, research more of the facts, and I have to be the believer in if that's true or not without the influence of the left or right before it gets on any of those news stations.
Right. So
yeah, straight down the middle.
Associated Press, and I guess other just feeds as well, like Lance Ritter, Reuters, or anything like that.
Yeah, just something. Yeah, right down there, down that middle, man. Like I said, I try not to. Or okay, here's some weird stuff. Like sometimes, and I might even know what they're talking about, but at least I know that I got like a feed, like, you know, that C-SPAN channel, C-SPAN 2 and all that stuff. It's just like a straight, that's what like a straight feed. They're just talking. There's no correspondent saying, well, maybe I think, you know, when he said that that this tastes like chicken, I don't really understand what he means. It tastes like chicken, you know, stuff like that. No. Let me hear what they say. I'll take it for how I want to take it. And that's just kind of like how I operate. You feel what I mean?
I got you. No, I'm with you. I feel like, I mean, news wires have their own things because they're not done out of the goodness of public service, because they are major for public companies. But I get you. Nothing wrong with getting the straight news wire. You know what I mean?
That. You got to, man. But I mean, I'll keep it real, because if I looked at news the way, I don't want to say like everybody else looks at news. I don't know how everybody looks at news, but if I looked at news and really took everything serious, like I would have a headache. I almost look at news like entertainment, because on CNN, they're gonna have a different title than they will on Fox, talking about the same exact thing, you know, and all the little tickers going at the bottom just making you go crazy, you know. So while, you know, Trump is talking some BS, you know, at the bottom, you know, you're missing out on something that you don't know. You know, it's just like, I can't do it.
I got you. So what about local stuff, man? I know like there is local bureaus, but what happens if you want something that's like...
So that's a good question. So with local, I actually trust local a little more, because it's like I can pull up. I can actually really go see if that junk really did happen, you know, especially like here where I'm from. Somebody say this happened, he said this. I can pull up. We got the address to our councilman, to our mayor, to the police chief. Oh, okay. I heard you say this, homeboy. You know, you can't really do that to the president. You feel me? You just can't pull up on them. I like to vote where I can pull up and see the works that you've done. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, I respect that. What's up, Flobo? After Hours of Royce Massengill. Royce's Rants season 4 is going on. Thank you so much for hanging out in the chat. But yo, Royce, you want to play a game with me, baby?
Yeah, let's do this, man.
All right, man. So I do a little segment, this little game, but this one is called Explain Yourself, Royce.
Oh, snap. Let's do it.
What's going to happen?
He said that was he hit the neck with it.
Yeah, explain yourself. What's going to do is going to say some quotes you did all over your social media. You let me know what you're thinking when you did it. There's no right answer. You're not really on trial.
Let's do it.
I do it for the clicks, baby. All right, cool. So you said people have said or done things to me that would have you ready to fight. But me, I let a lot slide because sometimes it's not worth it. And quote, give me a time where that was the case.
When I was talking about the LGBTQ community.
Go on.
Yeah. So I really just once again, it was one of those moments where I was just expressing my feelings, and it wasn't anything I hate. I wasn't calling anybody any names. There were just some things that I just didn't agree with. And we were just talking about, you know, something with like the bathrooms, right? And this is when I was really trying to just be I was trying to help out. I was like, okay, because sometimes with the LGBT community, real talk, you have to be careful what you say or what you think, and you're like, I don't mean to say that. Does that hurt their feelings? Because they can be sensitive sometimes. That's just my opinion and my experience. So when I brought up the situation about should transgenders, man and woman, should they have their own bathrooms? All right. I just asked a simple question. I'm talking about, it seemed like people I didn't know, everybody was jumping on there from every LGBTQ community that I had never heard of. All these friend requests started coming. I guess, you know, people go tell what was said and they share it and they want to see what I said, you know. So They got irate. They were so upset. They were like, oh, that's something we can't do. We cannot do that. We'll be discriminated, and people will fight us and beat us up. And I said, what do you mean? I said, look, I don't want to. Life to me is just supposed to be easy. I don't want to have to like think hard to figure out what to call you or what it is. I just respect you as a human being and do what you do. But like when you start making me change pronouns and try to figure this out, and then I mess up and you get upset, that gets hard. Like, I want you to live your life. Yeah, I think transsexuals should have their own bathrooms. You won't make women feel uncomfortable and you won't make men feel uncomfortable. But they were arguing with me saying, no, if you're a transgender man or woman, they need to go where they feel comfortable. I'm like, what about everybody else though? Wouldn't it make sense if you were all together, like all the trans people together, and just go to the bathroom? That's discrimination. I said, no, that just seems, I would want to be around where I feel comfortable too. Why would you want to be around people that don't feel comfortable? And they called me something, Flobo, that I had never heard of before at this moment. And I felt very insulted. You know how Kevin Hart says, like, I didn't understand the word that you said, but since I didn't understand what that means, I'm going to take it as an insult.
Yeah, that's how I felt.
They called me. They were like, you cis people just don't understand. I'm like, what's cis? What do you mean? What
cisgender?
What did you call me? Like, yeah. What did you call me? I was like, no, I'm just a man. I'm a heterosexual man. That's just, nobody talked to me about that in school. What that was, where did it come from? There's always like some different terminology or definition to fuck me up. Yeah. I don't know about it, or I'm not up to date with it. Like, look, man, I look at it in just one or two ways, and this is just my opinion, right? I don't care if you're transgender, transsexual, bisexual, asexual, pansexual, I don't know, queer, lesbian. At the end of the day, I think it's just gay. You're just gay. At the end of the day, that's it. Like all these names, I can't keep up, Flobo. I can't. I respect it, but I can't keep up.
Right.
And I wanted to slap the shit out of them for calling me. I hated that.
Well, you should go to violence. I think
don't call me no cisgender. I'm just a man.
Look,
women.
As someone who's heterosexual, cisgendered, I feel personally, I live here in Los Angeles, so I'm gonna say that because I know that's odd how I'm gonna attack and be like, well, you're in a liberal state. It's not true because California is a red state. You have blue cities because once you leave 30 miles out of Los Angeles, it's as red as it can be. The first time I got confused too, man. I got confused when there was different pronouns and I scoffed when I heard about this, but I can tell you one thing, man. The first time I went to someone that had transitioned, and I said, I was like as a joke, hey, what's your preferred pronoun? And they looked at me dead in the eyes and was like, yo, thank you so much for asking. That means a lot to me. I was like, what work is it for me to be like, what's your pronoun? Cool, I'll call you. So like, it doesn't bother me anymore because I used to get like excluded for being a certain way too. Granted, not for sexual orientation, but like, I don't know, that's a process, man. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be awkward. But
I tell you what, in order for me to know, like you're gonna have to tell, you're gonna have to tell me that you are that type. Because if I'm just looking at you, I'm gonna be confused on what it is. You know what I'm saying? And that's cool. I don't mind that. Hey, what would you like me to call you? But that's after I find out. There's some cases we just don't know. Like, you didn't give us a proper introduction.
This actually relates to my next question because because everyone may have their own thing. Like, for example, you have a rant. Explain yourself, Royce. When you go, quote, I'm not African American. Hear me out. And for a lot of people who are not of color, they go, I'm confused on what to call these people. So please explain yourself.
All right. Yeah, I'm not African American. No, we all came from Africa. We all came from there. But then, throughout the years, hundreds and thousands of years, we traveled and we found, pretty much our final destinations, which would make us indigenous aboriginals. I do not believe in the full narrative that every Black person in America were slaves. I do not believe the narrative that there were over 12 to 15 million slaves brought over here in ships that took about 2 to 3 months to travel. And also due to the circulation of the Atlantic Ocean that still has the same current to this day, no way you can bring that many slaves over there unless we were already here. Now, I do believe that there were slaves, of course, but just not that many. We had indentured servants. These Indians, the people that they consider themselves Indians or call themselves Indians, are not Indians. People can go look up the Dawes Act, the Dawes Roll, the $5 Indian. I want people to actually Google and research that and realize that if there were so many slaves here in America, the only reason there would be is because we were already here. So that would make us indigenous. Now, every black person is not from here. I'm just saying it wasn't as big as they thought it was. So personally, for me, when I did my research on my mother's side and on my father's side, we have Sioux and we have Cherokee Indian. The Sioux, my great grandfather is full-blooded Sioux Indian, and he is blacker than both of us put together, with Wesley Snipes added on the side, with the lights turned off
Damn,
at
midnight.
11:59 p.m.
Dang.
So it made me research a little more about like who were the real indigenous people, and they're not what we've learned in school. And that's another thing I pushed, is teaching real black history, because I feel like that black people have been taught the wrong history in order for us to be attached to an oppressive story, to make us feel like, oh, this is all we did, this is all we accomplished. No, we were already here. We were already doing things. There were stories that were not told. You feel me? And we built, and things were torn down, and we built again, and things were torn down. Like I want to get people to get out of that narrative that every single one of us were slaves. A lot of us had a choice to be some or not. I agree with Kanye in that sense. Once I researched that a little more, you know, slavery is bad, and for those that it happened to, definitely. I just happen to be on both sides, indigenous, and we have slaves mixed in all together. So I am of African descent, but I'm also of our native descent, aka they call this Turtle Island, America. So I can speak on both sides, but um, I feel closer to the indigenous side. And I think that narrative of everybody was from Africa, all black people were from Africa. You won't fight for something if you don't have an attachment to it. We can all say, oh, I'm from Africa, African Americans, yeah, but Africans don't know who you are. They don't know who you are. They can't tell you, they can't, there's no connection there. And that's not to trying to detach from Africans. It's just I don't see Africans fighting for America. What we've been through here at home is what we need to focus on, instead of trying to connect to something that we have no history of. That's how I see it.
And finally, there was a video that asked you, who is Royce? And you say, quote, he's a man of passion,
Yes.
a man of art,
Yes.
a man of integrity.
Yes.
He worries sometimes and he rants
do.
a lot, but
Yes.
ultimately wants the better of all people. Explain yourself.
Okay, at the end of the day, man, people gonna love me, they're gonna hate me, they're gonna think that, oh man, this dude is trying to trying to be another Malcolm X again. He don't like white people, It's like, no, I'm just a man of the truth, man, and if the truth hurts, so be it. But if you're a good person, you'll be able to accept the truth and possibly change your ways or encourage others to see, the truth also. I think here in America, we have been so hypnotized by narratives and false history and false alarms and everything that America has to offer us that psychologically affects us, man. I think we have totally forgot how to search for the truth. We've totally don't know how to accept the truth. We get entertained by lies. We really rather hear a lie if the truth was in front of us in some cases. Once the narrative is set, and of course that's anywhere, but definitely here in America, once the narrative is set, it's hard to break the truth through. And when you break the truth through, there's always something that happens to that person. They're considered a whistleblower. You know what I mean? But I just want people to know the truth. And I am for the betterment of all people, but only if the people are willing to accept the truth. And that is more specific in what's happened to black people, what's happened here in America, and how this land was taken and stolen from us. We just need people to accept that, and we can move on. People want to talk about racism. Well, how do you end the racism? all right, I'm not sure if you can completely erase racism, but I got a pretty good idea to, like, soften it up a little bit. Just the truth. I feel like people are scared that when we all learn the truth about how we got here and what was done here in America to get to where we're at, we're a small and a young nation that prospered quickly. When you think about history and how long it took for nations to build and become something, that happened fast, for real. And so I think if people were more educated about what happened here in America, the good, the bad, and the ugly, we can come to terms with it. We can all apologize to each other, and together we can be a better nation. But as long as we keep hiding this history, we ain't going nowhere.
Oh, yeah, that's true, man.
Yeah.
Royce, thank you so much for being on the show. What's
Hey,
up, over
bro.
after hours, man? Final weeks, we're rolling to the end of it all, but guys, got to go out with a bang. If someone want to follow you or your show, how they go about doing that?
Man, you can check me out, man. It's Royce's Rant everything. As you see on the hat right here, RYCE, parts of it SRANT. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? And it's on IG, that's on Twitter. I just got on Twitch. I'm trying to figure that mug out. YouTube, Facebook, you feel me? You can check out all of my rants, you can check out all of my shows. And I even got, you can check out our video work, our music video work that we've done, and some of the shows that we work with. You feel me? And yeah, man. Interviews galore. You get other stories about me. Definitely check out the first season of Royce's Rant. You can learn all my Soldier Boy stories. You can learn, my hustling days, you know what I'm saying, and my college days and all that fun stuff with girls and all that good stuff y'all like. Y'all know what it is.
Yeah, shout out to everyone in the chat here. This has been a crazy time hanging out with Royce. And check out the show, Royce's Rants. And I think I was on an episode in October or in September.
That was October the 18th.
Okay, yeah, make sure you check that out when you get the chance. But yes, I said it's the final week of What's Up, Flobo After Hours. We'll be back here next week with Dwayne Burke, and after that, the absolute finale of this program. But it's gonna be a good time. What you gonna come out 11:22? You're all invited. But until then, After Hours is closed.
The baddest in the land.